Okay, hi everyone. I am here with your 613 lesson, How Can I Describe It? Describing transformations. In lesson 612, you used words and coordinate points to describe how a triangle moved on a graph. These expressions describe the start place, the motion, and the point where the triangle ended up. Today you will write similar expressions to describe transformations on a grid. Problem 618. Rosa changed the position of quadrilateral ABCD to that of quadrilateral WXYZ. How did the coordinates of the points change, she wondered. Explore using the 618 Student eTool Desmos. Click in the lower right corner of the graph to view in full screen mode. Or you can just look right here at the graph. Part A, describe how Rosa transformed ABCD. Was the shape translated, slid, rotated, turned, or reflected, flipped? Explain how you know. So go ahead and pause the video and answer that question right there. Okay, if you are back with me, hopefully you answered that. It was translated, so translated should have been your answer. Translated, because the orientation did not change. So B says, how far did ABCD move in which direction? C says, point B became point X. What are the coordinates of points B and X? Name them using XY notation. And D says, how did the X coordinate of point B change? How did its Y coordinate change? For each coordinate, write an equation using the addition to show the change. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to try B, C, and D on your own right now. So go ahead and pause the video and try that. Okay, if you're back with me, you've tried A, B, C, and D. Something I want to show you with D. Or actually, let's start back at C. C, hopefully your points were -3, -5, and X was 3, 3. So down here, your X coordinate increased by 6. Y coordinate increased by 8. So in that case, our addition, X coordinate was -3 plus 6 equals 3. You can't even see that, sorry. X was -3 plus 6 equals 3 because we know our X coordinate increased by 6. And our Y coordinate started at -5 and it increased by 8. So it ended at 3. That is how we got the point 3, 3. So I went over this part with you for C and D because if you flip it over, I would like you to try part E on your own. It says visualize WXYZ, 10 units to the right and 12 units up. Where will point X end up? Without counting on the graph, work with your team to find the new coordinates of point X. Write equations using addition to show the change. So again, you're not going to graph this. You want to come up with equations to show the change for point X. So go ahead and pause the video and answer part E. If you're back with me, you have answered part E, and we are going to save it. 619 says, Rosa translated a different shape on a grid. Use clues below to figure out how her shape was moved. A, the point 47 was translated to 32, -2. Without graphing, describe how the shape moved on the grid. So use the idea here of your addition sentences from above to help you figure out for part A. Part B says, another point on her original shape was -16, 9. After the translation, where did this point end up? For each coordinate, write an expression using addition to show change. So again, we're using addition for part B. So I want you to pause the video and answer part B for 619, or A and B for problem 619. Okay, if you are back with me, you've answered 619. Again, we are going to save it. So 620, Rowan transformed quadrilateral CDEF below to get the quadrilateral PQRS. Describe how Rowan transformed the quadrilateral. Was the shape translated, rotated, or reflected? Explain how you know. So go ahead and pause the video and answer part A. If you're back with me, you have answered. The answer here is reflected. Hopefully that's what you had. Across the y-axis, because PQR is a mirror of CDEF. So it's an exact mirror. It's just flipped over that y-axis. Continuing on, for parts B, C, and D of this problem, Rowan noticed that the y-coordinates of the points did not change. What happened to the x-coordinates? Compare the x-coordinates of point D with the x-coordinates of point Q. Do the same with points E and R, with the points F and S, and with the points C and P. What do you notice? Part C, can you describe how the change of all the x-coordinates with addition like you did in problem 618 and 619? If not, what other operation could you use? Explain. D, what parts of quadrilateral CDEF are the same as the quadrilateral PQRS? How can you show the corresponding angles are the same measure and the parallel sides remain parallel? So I would like you to pause the video and answer parts B, C, and D here. If you're back with me, you have answered the rest of problem 620. We're going to save it to talk about this in class. Finally, the last thing that I want you to do is answer problem 623. You're going to do this on your own, and we are going to discuss this in class. So it's talking more about reflections, rotations, and translations. What happens to a shape when you perform these? Do the side lengths or angles change? Do the relationships between the lines change? What do you think of reflections, rotations, and translations? Or I'm sorry, why do you think reflections, rotations, and translations are called rigid transformations? So I would like you to finish up this lesson by answering problem 623, and we're going to discuss most of this lesson in class. As always, if you have any questions, please email us.